keep it really, really low key. Actually, just joined Bitreserve, but I've been very active in the UK scene for emerging payments. I've been in the payment tech space for about, I don't know, 10 plus years now. Really focused on mobile and kind of more creative financial solutions for gaming companies and various different financial services institutions. How many of you have heard of Bitreserve? Okay, good. It makes my job a lot easier because I can just tell you about it. Now, as far as Bitreserve is concerned, it is the first play from a cloud-based financial institution to provide transaction holding and management of finance, basically. So providing a transparent means in which we are showcasing how people are, holding their funds and what they're doing with their money. Our saying is, what you do with your money is your business, but what we do with your money is everyone's business. And being able to apply that transparent model with our reserve ledger and different things that I'll show you, it's basically taking the financial industry and putting it in the cloud and giving everybody the ability to freely enact with it, which is quite exciting. So basically, everybody's quite familiar with the kind of payment scene here in the UK right now. You have a lot of change going on. In April, the PSR now comes into play, which is the Payment Systems Regulator. So you'll have a lot of different institutions and different organizations having to change a lot about how they approach banking, how they approach access to payments, and a lot of what Bitreserve has been doing for the past few months, and a lot of what they will be doing for the months ahead is all based upon kind of what's going on in this marketplace. So let's go through here. One of my main passions is being able to provide underserviced consumers and markets with access to finance, access to being able to bring a free-to-use consumer, a cash-centered consumer or community into an online space is quite exciting. Going into markets to where they have nothing that brings them into an online community, it's great because you have a very excited greenfield consumer that is able to take advantage of basically becoming banked. And a lot of what Bitreserve is providing in terms of the technology, in terms of the cloud solutions, is really gearing towards providing these emerging communities access to online financial services. So you see, obviously, from the chart, we all know this. I don't need to beat a drum or anything, but there are close to 7 billion people in this world, and how many people actually have access to financial services? 1 billion. So there's a much bigger market that we need to start gearing our minds towards and understanding how we actually reach these areas, and a lot about putting Bitreserve in the cloud and working around finance is going to really be able to provide a lot of support. So the alternative finance drivers, again, I've been very, very influential with helping the UK understand kind of what's happening in the payment scene for the past few years. I've been really focused on blockchain technologies and Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies for about, I'd say, 3 years now. So I've been working with HM Treasury, Bank of England, you name it. We're talking and making sure that we actually have a position in which people will start being able to take advantage of the technology to apply it to real-world finance. Because one of the biggest problems that we all know, the biggest legacy mindset issue we have as a consumer or as a business is in finance. So being able to change that, being able to apply cloud-based technologies as well as blockchain technologies now, you really, really do have a winning solution that doesn't happen to be sitting on Microsoft or on Visa, MasterCards, or American Express's rails. And that's what's really important, because that's where you really have a chance to innovate. As far as the start of cloud-based money, very, very interesting. Again, this is really where we're trying to position ourselves. Being able to take the simple.com method and build our own rails and build our own system and really expand it in terms of the offering to both businesses, industry, and consumers is really key. So instant and free value transfer, obviously, the money that people use every day. Now, with Bitreserve, obviously, a lot of the technology that we use uses Bitcoin. Well, it uses the technology that Bitcoin uses. Now, it's important to separate the notion of Bitcoin because I think it's really important for everybody here. Bitcoin is two things. It's both an application and it's a technology layer. Okay? It's a protocol, similar to the internet. So you have the technology layer, which is the protocol, and then you have many, 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 many different applications that are going to be built on that. The first application happens to be money. Okay, so Bitcoin is just one of millions of applications that you'll be seeing built on this protocol of choice, and that's what's exciting. So applying that new emerging protocol and that technology to cloud and dealing with finance is quite exciting, and that's exactly what we're doing. Because as you know, with blockchain technology, it's an internal ledger. I mean, imagine if you had a website that you could access that would showcase Visa transactions happening real time all around the world. You know, it'd be pretty cool. Well, now you can with blockchain. It's an internal ledger, it's an accounting system, it's a tracking system. It's really whatever you want it to be depending on your industry use case. And our industry use case is changing the way that finance is not only provided, but also how it's scaled. A lot of you, who's heard of Halsey Minor? Halsey Minor, he founded CNET. He's been one of the most creative cloud entrepreneurs, I think, from the beginning. And it's quite, I like how, you know, the name doesn't really ring a bell, but when you look at the companies, you realize that, you know, we're onto something quite big here. So 1993, he realized that he needed to build a publishing layer, the CNET. We all know what CNET did. Again, he spun that off into VigNet. Salesforce, we all use today, obviously. So again, Rhapsody, OpenDNS, Grand Central, which became Google Voice, a part of OpenDNS, which was bought by Google a couple years ago. Now, Halsey's done a lot of thinking in terms of how he can take all the previous experience that he's had in these companies and apply it to finance and cloud. And now with blockchain, it's quite a powerful solution. So there's a lot of announcements and a lot of things that you might have been hearing the past few months with Bitreserve, and if you haven't, you feel free to check. But a lot of what we've been working on over the next coming months will really change the way in which financial access is given, not only in the UK, but worldwide. Let's go again. So just a little service overview real quickly. First cloud-based financial institution to hold, transfer, and transact any currency or commodity without the need for traditional banking, which is absolutely key. You send money to us, we show you where it is, we show you where it's held. You decide what you want it held in. Do you want it held in gold, dollars, pounds, silver, Bitcoin? If the market's there, we'll have it. Again, no volatility and no cost. We already have an open API. We've been live for a few months. It was started in 2013. We actually just competed a major round ourselves. So we have about 40 plus businesses using the Bitreserve API now, and it's a free API. Any business can use it. Any business can decide how they want to enact with the cloud system, and it's something that we can obviously go into more details, but a lot of different advantages depending on the businesses you are, of course. Like I said, 40 plus companies, $8 million in digital currency has been converted, sent, and received using the platform. I'll come back to that in a sec. In 2015, obviously, we recorded a $10 million Series B round with Crowdcube, which is the largest, which was a really, really exciting thing to be a part of. And just to kind of give you a picture, Bitcoin is just the beginning. It really is. And it's so nice to continue talking about Bitcoin as a technology as opposed to, you know, this application of money. It's obviously what gets most of the attention, but when you really break it down, the technology is really where the true innovation lies. And what Bitreserve does is it really emphasizes and it takes the technology and applies it to real-world finance. Because at the end of the day, what people don't realize is we're not really here to replace the dollar. We're not here to replace the pound. We really like real money. I mean, everybody loves real money. But the access to real money and the way that money is sent and held and all the charges that go into moving money is a thing of the past. Okay, so we use the underlying technology of Bitcoin to really, really open up an entire opportunity for payment networks, banking institutions, to create their own rails and plug into the cloud in order to enact a more B2B, P2P type of infrastructure, lowering all forex, lowering all fees of transactions, and what have you. So you can see kind of the destination of values, every asset class, and the different type of institutions to plug into the Bitreserve Cloud Money service. Just giving you a little idea of the wallet, there's a lot of UIs coming out, and there's a lot of new mobile solutions, a lot of work being done with different types of companies, all wanting to, you know, empower their own use cases, of course. But when you send Bitcoin in, again, it doesn't have to be Bitcoin in. You can wire dollars, or use PayPal, or use whatever form of transfer that you're most you know, accustomed to, and send it through. Okay, create an account, go through your KYC. You can hold it in yen, you can hold it in euros, dollars, pounds, etc. And wherever you go in the world, you decide where you want it. You want it on your dollar card. You don't have to pay transfer fees. You go to America, you pull out dollars. You have a card ready to use in America. But at the whole time, you're in your cloud, moving it from whatever class you want. Use cases, again, I've already touched upon this, but you know, consumers and businesses and institutions, there's so many use cases that we can kind of go through and look at if you want to talk about friction in finance. And part of the wonderful thing about cloud is how it opens up everything to a more seamless and frictionless environment. This is just to give you a little picture of our ledger. So, you know, every time you go onto the website, we'll show you exactly the value of transactions using Bitreserve, the total revenue from any of the currency conversions we do, which is completely lower than any company you'll probably find. And then obviously our obligations to our members and the total assets that are in our reserve. So we hold a reserve ledger and a chain that will give you all the access to those details whenever you want, like you see here. So again, it's very, very important that I stress the fact of transparency, because the one thing that the financial services industry has not had ever is transparency, and that's exactly what we're trying to showcase. And then applying that with the benefits and the technology of blockchain, you really, really have some powerful things that will be created. So our motto, change the money, change the world, and any questions you have, I'll be around for a bit, so thank you. Appreciate it.